All right. Thank you for staying the call. So I think it's better we get started. It's already been 3 minutes past the due time. So thank you again for joining. My name is Asankar, and I'll be your lecturer for the Power App Masterclass. So this is a class that we are going to do for beginners who willing to learn the tool Microsoft Power Apps, right? So before I start, I'll let you know a little bit about me. So you have my contact number, and you'll get this presentation after the today 1 hour training. After today's session, we'll get this presentation as well. If you have any question, you can always contact me, and also you can uh, send me an email, or also you can call me through, chat with me through LinkedIn as well. So if I talk a little bit about myself, I was a business intelligence and process excellence manager in multiple organizations in Sri Lanka. Currently, I'm not living in Sri Lanka. I'm doing my higher studies in Canada. So I'm expecting to finish my higher studies next year. And if I talk about my experience, academics, I have a master's in business analytics, and also I have a first degree in finance, special business management degree. And I was worked in manufacturing field as an industrial engineer. I also a Lean Six Sigma black belt. And in terms of Microsoft certification, I am a Microsoft certified data analyst, and I'm also a Microsoft certified Power Platform developer. And also, I'm one of the Microsoft certified trainer for Power Platform tools such as Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate. And altogether, I have more than 13 years of experience in the various domains. So this is a little bit about me. If you have any questions, you can always contact me through this number, and make sure that you call through WhatsApp, because you cannot take direct calls because I'm living in another country now. So if you have any questions, you can always contact me through this number through WhatsApp. So before I tell you about the course content, let me take you through a high-level view of what the course is going to offer to you, right? So this is not the breakdown of the content. This is what course is going to offer to you. So what we'll do is we'll do a comprehensive training program in Power Apps, Microsoft Power Apps. What is meaning by comprehensive means you don't need to have any experience in Power App, any experience in coding. You can start as a beginner. You don't need to know anything. You can start as a beginner, and you can join the training programs, and you will be finishing the training program as an advanced Power App developer. So this session is going to be interactive session. So this is not going to be a session that I'll be teaching and you will be listening. So this is going to be a case study based interactive training program. So we'll be learning Power App, and also we're going to learn another tool called Power Automate within this content. And this training program, as I mentioned, is case study based interactive training program. And the content of this training program, we have made this content of the training program to switch. We made this training program suit to Microsoft PL 900 exam. So if you remember, like when I was explaining about myself, I said that I am a here. I have mentioned that. Okay, let me take this one. It should be this one, yeah. So I have mentioned that I am a Microsoft certified Power Platform developer, right? So this how I get this Microsoft Power Platform developer, this credential is I have to do an exam. This exam is called PL 900 exam, Microsoft PL 900 exam. So if you want to be a Microsoft certified Power App developer, you have to complete this PL 900 exam. So to do PL 900 exam, you should have multiple skills, right? So you should have Power BI skill, you should have Power Automate skill, you should have the Power App skills, right? So we'll be not covering the Power BI part here, but all other parts like Power Automate part, Power App part, all the things related to PL 900 exam in terms of Power Apps and Power Automate will be covered in this training program. So if you want to be a Microsoft certified Power BI developer, so you can go through this course and become a Microsoft certified Power App developer. Sorry, it's a Power App developer. You can be a Power App developer. And at the end of the session, so you will get a certification. So you'll get two things actually. One is you will get a participation certificate. So once you go through the course content, You'll get a participation certificate, and also we are providing a digital badge, right? We are providing you a digital badge, which is offered by Pearson Credly. So I think you might know about the Pearson. So Pearson is a higher study, like if you know, like London, if you have done London A levels, London O levels, you know that there's a set of students who has done Pearson academics, right? So Pearson is a education provider. So they do have a platform called Credly. So what Credly do is they provide you digital badges, right? You might have seen in LinkedIn, you might have seen in multivarious platforms that when someone go through an exam these days, they get something called a digital badge. So digital badge is it's like a footprint you place in the internet that you have achieved something. So what are the benefit of having a digital badge is like, for an example, let's say there's a recruiter who want to hire a Power BI developer or Power App developer, right? So if you have a digital badge of any of these skills, like let's say you have gone through this training program and you get a Power App digital badge and you have placed it on your LinkedIn profile, right? So we'll teaching you how to put that on LinkedIn profile later on. So if you put it on your LinkedIn profile, what happens is if a recruiter want to hire a Power BI or Power App developer, they will do a search like, okay, I need a Power App developer. When they do the search, you will be on the top of the list because you have proved that you have done a training program and you have proved that you have done some case studies and you have proved that you have done an assessment. So you'll be getting two things. You will get a certification as well as you will get a badge. But to get the badge, you have to go through the assignment as well. So participation certification, it will be, you will anyway get the participation certification. But to get the badge, you have to go through an assessment because the badge is not issued by us. It will be issued by Pearson Credly. So we have to submit assignment to them and then they will send you the badge, right? And to learn Power Apps, right? You cannot learn Power App with your Gmail account. You cannot learn Power App with your Hotmail or your personal email addresses. You need to have a professional email address to learn Power Apps, right? So usually the Power App licensing cost, if you get uh, Office 365 account, Office 365 email, so that's going to cost you around almost like $40 per month, right? But we will be providing you email address from the company for 6 months of time. So period of a 6 month, you'll be getting a license from us, and you can use that license to learn Power BI. Sorry, Power anything like any. It's not only for Power Apps. You have Power BI there, you have Power Apps there, you have OneDrive there, you have emails there, and also you will get in the 365 whole package. You will get like Excel, PowerPoint, and uh, Word. Right. So you will get in a license for 6 months. So the reason why we keep it on the 6 month is because we have a limited number of licenses, and whenever the new batch comes, we have to give it to them as well. So that's why we keep it only for 6 months. That 6 months of time is more than enough for you to learn and experience all the things in Power App inside of this license. So you'll be getting a free email address as well. And the last thing is we'll be giving you lifetime assistance. Like if you are doing any project, any Power App project, you can always contact us, right? So we have a team of developers in our company, and it doesn't it doesn't matter if it is a college project, if it is a professional project. So you'll get always you can get the consultation from us, right? So whenever you have a problem, you can ask from us. So what we are supposed to do next, and you can have like one-to-one session, quick session, and we can guide you, right? Okay, so these are some of the dashboard our previous students has developed. These are live dashboard used in some companies, right? So you can see this is HR dashboard for new request, existing requests, for new recruiters and existing staffs. Like, so whenever a new recruit comes, whenever you hire someone, you have to give them a package, right? You have to give them a laptop. You have to give them, if possible, you have to give them a Wi-Fi package. You have to give them maybe mouse and keyboard, right? So mobile phone, SIM card, like. So what happened is whenever this is being done in earlier time, this was tracked using Excel. So this is for one of the most biggest apparel manufacturing company. This is used. One of our student is developed this one. So she has made this Power Up Tracker to track all the assets, track all the recruitment details, everything in one place. So this is one of the most advanced application developed by one of our students. So she also started from the scratch. She did not know anything about Power Apps, but she eventually become a Power App developer, a senior Power App developer in her company. Right? So this is another application developed by one of our student. So this is for contract renewal and contract agreement request. One of our students in our previous batch, he has developed this application. See, all these applications that we develop can be opened through mobile, can be opened through website as well. I mean, web online. I mean, from your desktop as well, desktop or laptop as well, right? So this is another dashboard application of the dashboard that was being developed by one of our students. So we have like hundreds of examples. So I can show you one of few more examples later on. And this is about that, right? So what is going to be today's agenda? So we'll be giving you an introduction about what you're going to learn, right? And what is Power Up and what are the building blocks of Power Apps. And there are multiple types of Power Apps that is being developed, right? There are multiple types of Power App that is being developed. And we'll be learning about a data platform called Dataverse, and we'll be learning about what is the CRUD development. So this is about what you gonna learn today, right? So today we have 1 hour time. I think it's already 50 minutes past. So during these 45 minutes, we'll be learning about what is Power Platform, what is Power App, what is building blocks of Power Apps, and what are the types of Power Apps, and what is meaning by Dataverse, and what is meaning by CRUD development. CRUD means create, read, update, delete. So when you develop application, you should have all these features: create, read, update, and delete, and how you do a CRUD application. So we'll be learning about that later on today, right? So this is going to be our content, right? So we'll be having a this is a 7 week program. So this is our first day, and we have another 6 days. Sorry, we have another 7 days, sorry, not 6 days. We have another 7 days. So today we learning about the overview of Power App, right? So I made this to 1 hour, although Mrs. mentioned as 2 hours. So we can have, this is like giving you idea of what is Power App, right? So today we will be discussing about introduction to Power Platform. So we'll be learning about what is Power App, what is Power Platform, and what is the benefits of using Power Apps, right? So we'll be learning about those things today and some case studies and benefit of Power Platform. So this is today's session, right? So we will learn about why Power App is important for a company, why everyone should learn using Power App in their corporate life, right? So this is for the today, right? And next week and the week after that, for 2 days, we'll be learning about building effective Power Apps, right? We'll be learning about building effective Power Apps. So these are going to be 3 hour sessions, right? From today onwards, from next week onwards, we'll be doing 3 hour sessions. During these 3 hour sessions, we'll be learning about on the first day, first and second day, we'll be learning about what is Power App, how we build a Power App. There are 3 types of Power Apps, right? There's a Power App type called Canvas app. There's a Power App type called model-driven apps, and also AI modified apps also are there, right? So there are multiple types of Power App. We'll be learning about how you build a Power App, how you design a user interface. User interface means whenever a user use the dashboard, right? How you can make it interactive, how you can make a button interactive, how you can make sure that user can do something easily, right? We'll be learning about how to use, how to design a user interface on next week and like week after that. So once you create a dashboard, you should be able to connect once you create the application, you should be able to connect your application to multiple data sources, right? You can use multiple data sources in Power Apps, right? So whenever, let's say, there's a tracker that you use to, maybe like invoice processing, when you do an invoice process, let's say you might be using an invoice a Power App application, right? So whenever you enter the data of the invoice, there should be somewhere that data has been recorded, right? Recorded, and if you want to get some historical data, you should be able to read the data from a data source, right? That means application has to have a connection with the data source, right? So data source, we call it the backend, and the application we call it the front end. So you are creating a connection to your data source. So you'll be learning about how you create a connection to your data source. So we'll be learning about multiple data source here. We'll be learning about how to connect to an Excel data source, how you can connect to a SharePoint list data source. So there's a data source called SharePoint list, widely used in Power App. So we'll be learning about that. And also you'll be learning about how to connect to a Dataverse, right? Dataverse is not a pre data source, but it is the most advanced data source that you can use in Power App, right? So there's a data source called Dataverse. So we'll be learning about what is data source and how you connect to the Dataverse as well, right? And there are multiple other data sources like SQL Server. You can even connect to data sources like Databricks and Snowflakes, but we're not going to explore on those things. Like once you have the understanding, it is about only connection. So you can carry on from that moment onward. And we also learn about multiple features in data, when you're building a Power App. So when you're creating a Power App, you should learn about how to use controls, how to use formula. Don't worry about these words, right? This word might be intimidating for you. You might feel these words are a bit difficult words, bit technical words, but don't worry. We'll be learning all these concepts one by one, right? So we'll be learning about what is meant by control, what is meant by formula, how you create a formula, what is the difference between a formula and expressions, right? All the things we'll be learning in the coming sessions, right? And after that, we'll be learning about how to create a responsive layout. Responsive layout means, guys, so when you build the application, right? When you build a Power App, let maybe you might be using the Power App. Someone might be using that Power App application in their desktop. Right? There might be someone who is opening that Power App application inside of a tablet, maybe like iPad. Someone might be using in their mobile, right? That means there are three different devices that these people use to log into their application, right? So three different devices means like that laptops, iPads and mobile, their screen size is different, right? So what we meaning by responsive layout means whenever they log from their device, the application should match to their layout. Like if it is a desktop layout, it should be like landscape layout. It should be, if it is, let's say you are logging from your iPhone, it should be a portrait layout, right? So you learning here how you make a responsive layout, right? So you'll be learning about how to create a responsive layout. And also you'll be learning about how to make business logic and data validation and calculations. Like whenever you make application, there are multiple business logics, right? So for an example, let's say uh, you need to create a application that is giving a bonus for those who are older than, let's say, 55 years old, who are working in your company. So whenever you enter the details, the number of maybe how much bonus has to be given will be automatically calculated. So those business logics, how you do the data validation, calculation, all those things will be learning in this application. And also we'll be learning about creating multi-screen applications, right? How you create multi-screen applications. Whenever you create a dashboard, sorry, whenever you create application, it should have multiple screens. There should be a landing screen. Whenever you open the application, there should be a landing screen. There should be a screen to enter new data, right? And also there should be another screen to read all data. And there should be two or more screens to edit the old data and delete the old data. So at least in your dashboard, in your application, there should be four screen at least: landing, creation, delete, modify, right? Update. So you should have all these things. So we'll be learning about how you create a multi-screen application. So this in module 2, we'll be learning 2 days in module 2. So this is going to be something we learn through case studies. So this is going to be a very interesting part in our session. And after that, we'll be learning about the most advanced database that can be used inside of a Power App, right? Which is called Dataverse, right? So Dataverse is a data source that can be used to store data, create logic inside of Power App, right? And to do multiple things, right? So you'll be learning about what is Dataverse, what are the structure of the Dataverse, and also you will learn about how to create tables, how to edit tables, and also how you create connection between multiple tables. So don't worry about the words again. So we'll be learning all these things, right? And you'll be learning about there are things called in Dataverse, there are things called forms, right? Views, and security roles, right? Forms means whenever you enter the data, you have to go through a form, right? Like if you remember your history, or if you remember your school time, whenever you go to a new A-level class, what is the process? You have to enter a form, right? Whenever you go to A-level class, before you enroll to the tuition class, you have to give your details in a form, right? That's the meaning of the form, right? You have enter in data. That's why it's called a form. And also there's something called views. That's how you view the data. And also there's something called security roles. Security roles means how much privileges that you can give someone access to your data, right? You are giving these roles, right? And also we'll be learning about how you use business logic inside of Dataverse, how you can integrate Dataverse inside with Power App and Power Automate, right? How you connect Dataverse with Power App and Power Automate, and how you use with SharePoint Online as well. So we'll be learning about few more things here. This is a one-day session. We'll be learning about how you use Dataverse, right? So this is another advanced topics that we're gonna learn how to use Dataverse, right? Dataverse, again, I'm telling you, Dataverse is the best data source for Power App, right? And also we'll be learning about how to use SharePoint Online, right? I think you might have heard about SharePoint. To work with Power App, you should have the knowledge of SharePoint Online as well, right? So that's why we are learning about SharePoint Online. So for SharePoint Online integration, so we'll be learning about Microsoft SharePoint for one more day. So 3 hour session, we'll be learning about SharePoint Online for one more day. So when we're learning about SharePoint Online, we'll be learning about how to create connections with Power App and Power Automate to SharePoint Online, how you create list and libraries in SharePoint Online, how you create forms and views in SharePoint Online, right? There are multiple things like workflows, intelligent document management, proactive notification. Like we'll be learning all these things inside of SharePoint Online when you're learning about SharePoint Online, right? So this is not only for Power App. You are learning about ecosystem now. You are learning about Power App. You are learning about Power Automate. You are learning about Dataverse. You are learning about SharePoint Online. So you are learning a entire ecosystem when you learn Power this throughout this course, right? Even though I mentioned this as a Power App masterclass, you might see that you are learning about multiple things, right? To be a excellent Power App developer, you should know all these skills, right? So that's why we are teaching you all these things. And after that, we are going to, in my opinion, my first favorite part in Power App session, which is Power Automate. So Power Automate is a RPA tool. What is mean by RPA? RPA means robotic process automation, right? Power RPA tool. RPA tool means you are whenever you do a task, like let's say you are getting an email from a client about a project, right? Let's say you are a construction company, right? So for your some there's a generic email address. Whenever client wants something additional, he or she has to send an email to that email address, right? Let's say when a client send an email, you have a tool that read that email, right? You have a tool that read that email, get the data from that email and put it on a database. From the database, it is triggering another email, right? Let's say your customer asks to create a new room, let's say, okay, this is a construction company, then it will be sending an email to the designer, the architect, the engineer, structural engineer. Everyone will get the email based on the content on that email, right? So you can automate things and all the things will be tracked. So that's why we use the Power Automate. So if you are doing something repetitive or something required some logic, right? You can use this Power App tool, sorry, Power Automate tool to automate that task, right? You can automate work, save your time. So let's say there's someone in your company who download a data set from a system, create something, upload it, and send an email, right? Let's say that's taking 1 hour per day. You can reduce that 1 hour to 1 minute using Power App for Automate. Right? You can automate things. That's why it's called automation. When you're learning about Power Automation, you'll have to learn about things called trigger, action, and connections, right? You'll be learning about things called trigger, action, and connection. Trigger means like trigger, you know what is trigger, right? Trigger in the, what do you call that? In guns, you have trigger, right? Trigger, right? So trigger is what send a bullet from a gun, right? Similarly, in Power Automate, trigger means something that start your automation, right? You will be learning about trigger, actions, what it's going to do, and connections, right? Connectors, how it connected to data sources. And you'll be learning about how to create workflows, how you connect to multiple sources, Dataverse, Power Apps, and SharePoint Online, and how you use multiple automation techniques. Like there are multiple automation techniques like parallel branching, loops, and dynamic conditions. We learn about those things, and you'll be learning about what are the best practices that you can use to troubleshoot if you have an issue in the data Power Automate, and you'll be applying some of the real scenarios for solidifying the theory. Right? So we'll be learning about how to use real world scenarios to inside of this Power App, Power Automate. And combining all these things on the last day, we'll be doing a comprehensive project. In this comprehensive project, you will be using Power App, SharePoint Online, Power Automate together. Right? We'll be learning everything together, and we'll be creating a world-class application which can be used in the company, right? When you are doing that, you'll be learning about things like version controlling, like when you have multiple people working in the same application, how you use version controlling, how you do a change management, how you do a schedule maintenance of your applications. Like you'll be learning all these things as well in the last session. So that's how the content I have broken down. So I'll take a minute of pause, right? So if there's anyone who has any concern, right, I'm more than happy to answer. Anyone about the content or anything? Perfect. So since we don't have any questions, I'll go to the next slide. Right. So let's see what is this Power App, right? So Power App is a low code application, low code developed application. What is meaning by low code? Low code, even, before we talk about low code, let's discuss about how you create application in the history, right? So before like 2015, 2016, so whenever you want to create application, you have to have a team of software engineers to develop an application. Let's say you have for HR department, you need to create a recruitment application. Or it's like, let's say like this in the HR department, you have to develop an application for hazard checklist. You know what is meant by hazard identification, right? Hazard means if you know about manufacturing companies, in manufacturing company they have a department called health and safety. Usually it's under HR department. So in health and safety department, what they do is they go and see in the production flow, manufacturing flow, is there anything that can cause an injury to employees, right? It could be a machine, it could be something wrong with the flow, like if there's something wrong with the flow, some kind of hit or something. So they have to track the places where injury can happen to employee, right? Daily they are doing that one. So usually what they do is like in the morning, someone who is the safety manager or safety officer, he or she went to the production floor and with his phone, and he's taking photos of places where injury could happen. Let's say there's a machine which is electrocuted, like let's say there's a machine with electrocution. So he take photos of that place, and he go back to the computer and he put that photo, get the photo from the application, get the photo from the phone, and he or she draft an email. It could be, let's say, in the email he's drafting like let's say that electrocution machine. So for the engineering manager, he's sending an email with the photo. There's this problem, please work on this one, and you have to complete this within this, let's say 1 week, you have to complete this one, like that. You are sending an email. And after 1 week, you are going back again to see whether it's being done. If it's not being done, you have to send another email, right? That, it's a manual process, right? So whenever you want to create an application for this process, so earlier, how they do it is they hire a software engineer, and software engineer explore this process, what they are doing, and they are providing a they have to explore the process, and they are building the application. Like, so when the software engineer develop application for this process, there's few things that we need to consider about. One thing is the time. Usually, when a software engineer develop an application, it takes time because software engineer is a software engineer. He's not a safety manager, right? He doesn't know anything about safety. First, he need to understand what is safety, what is the requirement, and how it is need to be done. So there's a time that take for understanding. And the second thing is the expensive, right? Because software engineers are quite expensive than usual employees, right? So software engineer app development application, it could be very expensive, right? So therefore, companies in this world saw an opportunity. What if, what if we can, what if we can give the user to ability to develop their own apps? That means, what if the HR manager can develop HR application for their own? What if the finance manager can develop finance application on their own? What if a safety manager can develop their own hazard checklist without a need of learning programming? So that's why the low code become a huge success in this world, right? In low code development, you don't need to learn about the back end, front end, integrations, like all the things you don't need to learn. For some extent, you need to learn, but not like a software engineer, right? Within couple of weeks, couple of days, you can learn about the Power App and you can start building your corporate app, right? So it become a huge success because people can build their own applications, right? People can build their own application. For example, my personal experience, my first degree is not in IT. My second degree I did it on data science anyway, but my first degree I'm a finance professional, right? I develop my own financial dashboards, my financial applications using these Power App tools in that time, and I save thousands of hours of my work, right? So anyone can learn, right? So it became a huge success in 2018. There were 100 million applications developed in low-code platforms, right? And when it comes to 2023, you can see it has been increased 500 times. That means 5 times higher than 2018. So there's a huge demand for low-code development. So there's a forecast about the low-code development, right? Uh, in 2022, the entire world, the market value of low-code application was $14 billion, right? $14 billion. It is expected that in 2032, the market will become $187 billion. $187 billion for low code development. So this is not something I say, right? You can fact check all these things. I'll be sending all these presentations to you. You can fact check these things, right? So what is being done, what is needed to be happen, like everything can be fact checked. So these are not something I say. These are forecasts done by regulatory firms, right? So let's learn about the Power App now, right? So as I mentioned, the companies saw a huge opportunity there. So multiple companies start developing low-code tools, right? So tools like in Salesforce, they have a tool. In Informatica, they have a tool, low-code tool. But out of all these tools, the tool that developed by Microsoft become the giant or leader of this low-code tool. The reason is people are familiar with Microsoft environment, right? They know about Word, Excel, they know about how to use, you know, tools like SharePoint, right? OneDrive. They are quite familiar with Microsoft tools. So therefore, when you talk about the adaptability, Microsoft become the most adaptive low-code tool, right? So in around 2016-17 time, Microsoft actually released uh, a set of tools. They have released Power BI for analytics. They have released Power App for application development, and they released Power Automate. At that time, it is called Power Flow, actually, not Power Automate. So name was changed, I think, around 4 years ago. At that time, it's called Power Automate, and it's called Power Flow. Now it's called Power Automate. And also they have another tool called Virtual Agent. That means like if you have seen whenever you go to website these days, on the right side there's a chatbot, right? You can actually create the chatbot using Virtual Agent, right? On top of these things, they have some underlying technologies that is helping these developments, like these applications. They have something called data connector. So data connector is where the connection happens between data source and the application, right? So that's how the data connections happen between data source and the application. For that one, we need a data connector. And also they have another tool called AI Builder. We'll be learning about AI Builder as well. So AI Builder, what AI Builder do is it can do some pattern recognitions. It can read documents. Like for an example, let's say you are getting a you are getting your data in scanned images, right? So if you are getting an email as a scan image, your AI builder can go to, let's say, your invoices are getting as a scan image. You can build the AI builder to read those scan images and enter the data inside of your data source, right? You have AI builders for that. And the Dataverse, we already explained about the Dataverse. It's a sophisticated, most advanced database that we can use for Power Platform, right? Cool. So we are learning about Power App. So what is Power App? What does Power App do? Power App is a tool that empower user. Empower user means person who are doing the process, HR managers, finance managers, production managers, right? A user who is already doing the job to create their own business applications, right? If someone want application, they can build their own applications, right? I think there's someone here who is an industrial engineer, right? There was someone who messaged me right now. I think he's in this session. He's an industrial engineer. Industrial engineer. He's doing costing engineering. There's something called costing in industrial engineering. So whenever you do costing, you can create application to record all the costing, like numbers, how much SB has to be given, how much is the trade consumption. Everything can be recorded whenever, if you are doing it in Excel or somewhere, you can record everything using a Power App tool. You can automate things, right? So you can create business applications and you can connect your business application to multiple sources, right? You can connect your data source application to multiple sources. You can connect to Excel. You can connect to SharePoint list. You can connect to Dataverse. You can connect to SQL Server, right? And you can automate the processes that you are doing. If you are doing the same thing again and again and again every time, you can automate things and save your time. And it will eventually solve whenever you have a problem in the process. Simulate creative problem solving, right? You are not just solving a problem. You will doing a creative problem solving. So that is the benefit of using Power App. Power App will empower users effortlessly to create custom applications, create diverse data source, connect diverse data sources, automate processes, and stimulate creative problem solving. Right? So that's the benefit of using Power App. Right? As I mentioned already, Power App can connect to multiple data sources and systems, and you can create applications, forms, and workflows. Workflows means automations without writing code, right? And use applications in any device. In the side of the map, you can use it on desktop, you can use it on mobile, you can use it on tablet, any device you can use the application, right? So why Power App? Power App is easy to develop, very beginner friendly. It's a low code development environment. You don't need to learn about programming. It will empower users to build their own applications. Anyone can build their own app and easy to share. It's just a matter of sharing the link, right? And also, if you are building application, you don't need to build from the zero always, right? There are already pre-built templates which is available for Power App developers, right? Pre-built templates are there. You can use those templates, and also there are some components that you can use. And also the data integration, you can connect to multiple data sources, and also about the security and governance. No matter how good your data source, how good your application is, if you can't ensure about the security and governance, right? If you have a Power App tool, Power App application, you don't need to worry about your security. No one can access your data if you don't provide the access. No one can manipulate data. You are governing your data. Right? You can manipulate your data. You can govern your data as well. And also it's mobile friendly because most of the people using mobile, they can look through it from mobile as well. And also there are three types of Power Apps. There's a Power App type called Canvas app, model driven app, and the Power Platform tool. This is also called as Power Page as well nowadays. So Canvas application is the simplest form of application. In Power App, Canvas application, you can create whatever the application you want. right? In Power App Canvas application, you can create whatever the application you want. So whenever you have something in mind, you can do it at the pixel perfect application. That means for the last dot, you can do a modifications in Canvas application. And you can connect up to 600 data sources in Canvas application. So Canvas application is the most used type of Power Apps in Power App development, application development. Around like 95% of the time, you are building uh, Canvas Power Apps, right? And also there's another type of application type, Power App type called model driven app. So model driven app, there are some limitation on model driven app. Model driven app can be connected to Microsoft database only. There's no, we cannot connect it to any other data. So only data source that can be connected model driven app is Microsoft database. That's the only data source you can connect. And usually model driven applications are not beautiful. Like Canvas apps are very beautiful. You can make a Canvas application as beautiful as you want. But model-driven apps are not that good looking. It serve a different purpose. It will track your business process from end to end. So for an example, you might have heard of this ERP tool called SAP. I think most of you might have heard of this software, the ERP tool called SAP. What SAP do? SAP manage your business, right? This is not about beauty. SAP tool is a very ugly tool, for to be honest, like one of the ugliest ERP tool in the market. But SAP can manage your entire business. $1 billion business can be managed inside of SAP. The same thing. The model-driven app is not made for beauty. It's made for a different purpose. Managing your business, right? Managing your business. You can actually build a ERP tool if you spend some time. You can build your own ERP tool inside of a model-driven app, right? So that's the difference. Canvas apps serve a different purpose. Model-driven app, serve a different purpose, right? And also we have the Power App portals. So Power App portal is like a website actually. And this is also only Microsoft Dataverse based only. We cannot connect multiple data sources here. So the benefit of Power App portal, so the Power App page is these two tools, two applications, the Canvas app and model driven app can be used inside of an organization only. Like for an example, let's say there are someone who MS holding. So only people inside of the MS holding can use Power App develop inside of MS holding. But let's say for vehicle tracking, like transport tracking, they are developing an application. They need to give access to drivers as well, like truck drivers, right? Lorry drivers, they need to give access now, right? Since truck drivers and lorry drivers are not employees of the organization, they cannot use Canvas apps and model-driven apps. For that, they have to build a Power Page, or you can say the Power App portals, right? If you want to give access to different parties other than your organization people, you have to build Power App portals or Power Pages, right? So these are the three type of application: Canvas app, model-driven app, and Power App portal. So we'll be learning about these things, but I'm not going to teach a lot about Power App portals because I'll be mostly focused on these two. Like these are the like 99.99 time you will be using these things, but I'll give you a highlight of the Power App portals as well. Okay, so we already discussed about these things, application related to technology, application technologies related to Power App, right? Power App can be connected to multiple connections, right? You can connect to SharePoint, you can connect to the SQL Server, you can connect to ERP tool Dynamics 365, you can get the data of emails and, people list, right? Excel, OneDrive, you can connect to, there are hundreds of data, so I'm just showing you a few here. You can connect your data Power App to multiple data sources, right? And about the data source, the most important data source is called Dataverse, right? So Dataverse is different from other data sources. The reason is it is like a place where you store the data and also you manage the data, right? So manage the information, you manage your logics there, you can manage your security there, right? So this is happen to API connection. We'll be learning about these things later on. In Dataverse, you can do multiple things. You can manage the security, you can manage your business logic, and you can manage your data like your reportings, validations, everything can be done there. You can manage your storage. It can store multiple data types, right? It can store data like semi-structures, data like images, right? You can create those images as also some entries like Excel file entries you can keep on the storage. And also it can be connected to multiple integrations, like you will be learning about these things, like don't worry about these words like webhook. There's something called webhook, service bus, event hub, like Don't worry about the words. We'll learn these things, right? So Dataverse is a one important application that we're going to use in Power App development. Okay, so this is about the CRUD. CRUD means create, read, update, delete. So I think I already explained to you this one. So whenever you create application, it should be CRUD enabled. It should be CRUD enabled. The application should be able to create a new data, read existing data, update existing data, and also it should be able to delete any existing data, right? So that's how you develop application, right? I put this actually, if we have time to do a sample, but unfortunately we have only like 10 minutes, right? So for 5 minutes, I'll show you like some of the other examples of Power App, right? Only few examples. So how you access to your Power App portal, right? How you access to your Power App portal is you have to type make.powerapps.com. Right? You have to type make.powerapps.com. When you click on make.powerapps.com, it might ask you to sign into your email address. As I mentioned, you should have an email address to sign in, to log into Power App portal. Then it will be looks like something like this, right? And you can see this is a web-based application development tool, right? You don't need to download any software. Everything will be done inside of the website only. You don't need to do any of the development inside of your computer. Everything done inside of a website, right? So here, this is the home page. In the home page, you can see I have some of the application that I have developed earlier, right? And also there are some learning tools are there, right? You can use those things as well, right? And we have something called create. So create is the place where you create applications, right? So you can create as a blank application, and also you can create from a SharePoint list, right? That's it, with the connection to a tool, right? And there are different types of ways to create designs. Like you can have split screen, like if you want your application to be split screens, and like this shape, like everything is already there with the dashboard, right? Everything is already there. Like you can use these templates actually, right? And you can see we have connect. We can do it using connection to multiple data sources as well here, right? It is already there, right? And also there are some few learning tools that you can use, right? You can use these as well for learning. And we have a new thing. This is called a plan actually. So the plan is very interesting one. So what the plan does is, first you explain your requirement as a plan, right? You explain your requirement as a plan. Then you can wipe code. What is meaning by wipe code? Wipe code means you are explaining your requirement to the Power App and it will develop the application for you. Yet there are some few minor changes that you need to do, but it will do around 50% of your work can be done through plans. So we'll be learning about using plans as well, right? And applications, right? These are historical applications that we have done, right? And here there are some interesting tools that you can use. This is called start with design, right? For an example, let's say you go to a meeting, right? You go to a meeting, and then in the meeting, in your whiteboard, your manager or your client asks, "This is the dashboard. This is the application I want." Like he will design. He'll just draw it like I should have an entry form. I should have a name entry. I should have a bar chart on the right side like that. If he can design it, you can take a photo of that design. You can enter that photo here, and it will develop. It will give you a sample dashboard for you, sample application for you, right? So you can use this as well, right? So I'll take you some of the example we have done. So yeah, this one maybe. Yeah, so this is one of the application I have developed, right, as a case study. So here what happened is like for a canteen, they have developed like your company canteen. Like whenever you want something in the morning, you have to go and make the order, and on the lunchtime they will provide you the food, right? So for that purpose, I have developed this application, right? So you can see this is the development environment, right? On the development environment, you have multiple places like insert in date, insert items, like you can see. We can item and buttons, data pickers, like inputs are there, right? And also this is for the connections, right? How you make connections and formula management, right? Everything is here. And we have something called review. So this is how you switch between pages, right? But I need to check. There's a little issue with, I think, I'll do to go to another one. Okay, go to this one. Right. So this is another application I have developed for the asset request, IT asset request for the IT. If you want a mobile, or let's say if you want a mouse, you have to go to this application and you have to order your items. Right. It seems like I'm having a little bit of a network issue. So usually it loads quickly, but I'm having a network issue since morning. I think that's why I'm unable to open this one. Right, that's fine. Okay. So you have the idea, right? So this is how the application is being developed, and application can be shared with anyone, right? Once you develop it, it's a matter of sharing, right? You can share it with anyone as a link, or you can actually share it as a uh, email as well, right? So this is how we do it. And we'll be learning about all these things, like how to do all these things, and also we have a few more things like AI hub. We'll be learning about these things as well, right? How you create multiple AI hubs. It'll be done on the future. So this is the basic content that we'll be gonna learn throughout this course. So now I'll take a pause. If you have any questions, like I'm more than happy to answer. Does anyone has any question? Anyone?
Hi, Sankar. This is Chamara.
Hi, Jamra.
Sankar, in this Power Apps, in the workflows, hierarchies, all that can be created, right?
Yep. The Power Automate,
So
you mean, right?
while you're explaining certain things was going through my mind, what can be done like that. That's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah. So whatever you have in the mind can be done, I mean, in a business process can be done inside of the Power Automate, like hierarchy and the workflows, like reading emails, create updating documents, like sending notifications. And once the notification is being replied, it will be automatically updated. Everything can be done inside of the Power App. And this is not only Power App, it's like connecting multiple tools. Like, yeah, as I mentioned, you have to connect to Power Automate, you have to connect it to maybe SharePoint list. Connecting multiple tools, you can do it with Java.
And this one is basically for internal use. I mean, what is the most used? Is it
Yeah. So
internal?
this is mostly used this internally. As I mentioned, there are three types of Power Apps: Canvas apps, model-driven apps, and also Power Pages. So Power App, Canvas apps, and the model-driven apps, they are used mostly. Like mostly means like they have to use 100% inside of the company only, because that cannot be shared outside. But if you have any plan to use application outside of the company, you have to develop a Power Page. Right. So
Okay.
these, as I mentioned, like these are all corporate apps, right? So there's a difference between corporate apps and the public apps, right? So public apps means,
Okay.
guys, like let's say you are building app that can send emojis to your friend, right? So that's called public app, right? You can make a public app and you can put that public app on the share, Play Store, or you can put it on like iOS store, right? You can put on those places. But corporate apps is a different thing. Corporate apps are application that will help inside of your business, inside of your company, right? So in Power App, the most use case are using developing corporate apps. I hope that answers your question, Chamara.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you, Asanka.
So DST, he's asking, is this developing apps in Play Store? No, the application that you will be developing cannot be put inside of the Play Store. These are not like Android or iOS applications. These are Power Apps. So it's a different type of apps that you are developing that has to be accessed through Microsoft Power Platform, right? So that has to be accessed to Microsoft Power Platform. So that's cannot be put inside of the Play Store or iOS. Sorry. Anyone else? Okay, so no questions. So we can wind up the session for today. I hope you have get an understanding about what is Power Up and how it can be used. So from next week, we'll be having 3 hour sessions. So 4 to 7, we'll be having sessions. Sometimes it could be 2.5 hours based on the content. So usually we are planning for 3 hours. So we'll be having the 3 hour sessions, and we'll have like 10 minutes break within the sessions. Like in the mid of session, we have like a quick 10 minutes break. So that's how the plan is for next week onwards. Like if you are planning to attend, you can just drop a message to the coordinator. I think coordinator might have already sent you a message. You can just drop her a message and she will arrange the rest for you. So thank you so much, and I wish you all the best and see you in the next class.
Thank you, Asanka.
Thank you.
Thank you.